Stream. My name is Alicia, and in this week's live lesson, we are going to talk about how to use yet, already, and still. This lesson is going to focus on use of present perfect patterns. So we're going to use those a lot throughout the lesson, but I'm also going to talk about some other grammar patterns that we use these words with. So I hope that you can get some good practice today. As you join, please make sure to hit the like button and of course share this video so that other people can find today's lesson. That would be super, super cool. So while we wait, a couple of super quick announcements. The first one is about this banner at the bottom of the screen. This Test Your Level Now banner. If you want to check your English level, if you want to take our assessment test to find out what level you are and what lessons to take, you should check the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube or above the video on Facebook. You'll find this page here. So if you scroll down, if you move down on this page, you will find all of the details about this. So check this out, find this. If you have trouble or questions, follow this 1, 2, 3, 4 step process. And you'll find at the end of the test where you are, like your position or your level, and you'll find the right path from our lesson library. So check this out. If you want to find out your level with us, you need your name and your email address to do that. So check that out from below or above the video. I hope that's helpful. Announcement number 2 is, as always, if you have questions for me, if you want to ask me a vocabulary question, if you want to ask me I don't know, preposition question, you found some interesting phrase in some media somewhere, whatever, you can send it to me for this series, the Ask Alicia series, our weekly question and answer series. I think this will be back this week. So send them to me at englishclass101.com/ask-Alicia. You can find a link for this in the YouTube description as well, so check that out there. Also, if you want to find me on social media, you can find me at this account name. This is also in the YouTube description, so check it out there. Okay, that's all for announcements. I think everything is rolling okay. Hi, YouTube. Everybody's there on YouTube. Hello, Nad and Gemeshu. Hello, Raina. Hello, Vibhani. Test King. Hello, Mauricio. Hi. Everybody's here. Facebook, are you here? Yes. Jean-Marie from Haiti. Hello. Sorry, Jean-Marie. Sorry. Astrid, hi, from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Welcome. Sewang, hello. Richard, hi. Rolando. Okay, good. Everyone's here. Welcome, everybody. Great. Everything looks okay. So let's take a look at today's lesson topic. Today's lesson topic is yet, already, and still. Here are today's lesson boards, so you can take a picture if you want. We're going to talk about using yet, and we'll also talk about it as a coordinating conjunction, not just in these perfect tense structures. We're going to talk about already and still. So 1, 2, 3, very basic flow for today's lesson, but I hope it's helpful. So as you join, please make sure, if you haven't already, to hit the like button and share this video so others can find today's lesson. Okay, let's get started with yet. Okay, yet. First, let's talk about this use with perfect tense structures, okay, with perfect structures. So, yet to express an action or a condition that has not happened, but that we expect to happen. So the key with yet is there's some expectation. We think that thing or that condition is going to happen, but it has not happened. We use yet when we want to express this. So here's a basic pattern we can use to create a yet sentence. We have subject plus hasn't or haven't. So note the negative form, not has or have, but has not and have not, right? So subject hasn't, past participle verb yet, or subject haven't, past participle verb yet. Okay? So note we use the negative form here. Has not and have not are reduced to hasn't and haven't. So let's look at some example sentences that use yet in this way. You can send some in the chat. I'll try to check yours live. So first example, we're going to see these in today's lesson, these 3 sentences a lot, okay? So I haven't eaten lunch yet. I haven't eaten lunch yet. So let's break this down. So I is our subject. Haven't is right here, my negative, have not, for this structure. And then eaten is my past participle verb. In this case, eaten lunch. What did I eat or not eat? And yet at the end of the sentence. So this shows we have an expectation. There's some expectation we're going to eat lunch, but it didn't happen, or it has not happened. So this sentence, I haven't eaten lunch, is 100% correct. I haven't eaten lunch. The difference is this sentence, I haven't eaten lunch, sounds like a simple fact, right? We're just reporting information. I haven't eaten lunch yet sounds like I'm planning to, or there's some expectation. Okay, let's go to the next one then. He hasn't finished his homework yet. He hasn't finished his homework yet. So this sentence uses a he subject. He hasn't. He hasn't. And here our verb is finished. He hasn't finished his homework yet. He hasn't finished his homework yet. So again, we're expressing an expectation. This sentence is also correct. He hasn't finished his homework. But when we use yet, it expresses the expectation. So maybe if you're this person's teacher or their mother, father, or whatever, he hasn't finished his homework yet. We're expecting something. Okay, some examples. Riddhi Singh writes, I haven't yet eaten lunch, correct or not? Good point, yeah. Sometimes you may see yet before the verb, like I haven't yet eaten lunch. This sounds, at least in today's American English, this tends to sound a little bit old-fashioned, or it might sound a little more formal. So if someone prefers to have a more formal speaking style, they might use yet in this position. Generally, we use it at the end of the sentence here. Okay. All right, Christopher on Facebook says, is yet a conjunction? Yeah, we're going to talk about it down here too, okay? All right, let's continue to the next one. They haven't arrived yet. They haven't arrived yet, all right? So again, my subject, they, haven't, my negative form, and my verb is arrived with yet, okay? So the key with yet in this use is it expresses expectation. Right? We think that something is going to happen, or we expect that something will be true. Okay? So let's move to the second part with this one about using yet as a coordinating conjunction. A coordinating conjunction. This sounds scary, but a coordinating conjunction means a word we use to connect two sentences. Yeah? For example, and, or but, or. Those words are coordinating conjunctions, and yet is also a coordinating conjunction. So we use yet to connect our sentences, to connect two ideas, and the meaning in this case is although, or despite that, okay? So how do you know it's a coordinating conjunction? When you see yet in the middle, like between two ideas, between two sentences, it's probably a coordinating conjunction, okay? So, for example, she hasn't answered the phone all day, yet she's in the office. She hasn't answered the phone all day, yet she's in the office. So, this is like saying she hasn't answered the phone all day, although she's in the office. So, in this case, we're showing like, I know this is true. Why isn't that true? So we use yet to have this feeling, this meaning. All right? Cool. Okay, some other examples. We haven't finished our class yet, okay? I haven't brushed, Muhajir Azizi on Facebook, I haven't brushed, past participle verb, yeah? My teeth yet, okay? Hello, I haven't written in French yet, okay? Someone, Christopher, wrote they haven't ate yet. Ate is the simple past form. You need to use the past participle verb. Yeah, I haven't eaten. So eat becomes eaten, not ate in this grammar pattern. Okay, cool. All right. So let's end part 1 there with yet. Yet. Whew, that was a lot. Okay. Let's move on to part 2 for today. We'll take a super quick break and then go to part 2. If you missed it earlier, there is a level check in the description. Test your level now, says this banner. You can find this in the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. I will show you one more time so you can see what I am talking about. This thing. Okay, so our team made this level check test. So if you want to take a look at your English level and get some recommended courses from our lesson library, you can take a look here. You will find the test and the information at EnglishClass101.com. So check that out if you want to check your level and see what you want to do next. Okay? All right, cool. Let's go to part 2 then for today. Already. So if you haven't yet, please make sure to hit the like button and share this video. Yeah, it helps other people find the lesson. All right, onward to already. Okay, so already. Let's talk about this word. Already. So we use already to express an action or a condition that has happened and that we expected to happen. So like with yet, the expectation is really important here. So we're expressing that feeling. We thought something was going to happen, so we had an idea, but with already, the action happened. It's finished, or it started already. All right? Okay, so let's move on to the pattern for this one. So we have the subject again. Here, we're going to use the positive, has and have. When we used yet, we used the negative, right? Hasn't and haven't. Okay? So, subject has already, past participle verb. Subject has already, past participle verb, or subject have, I have already, past participle verb. So again, we're not using simple past tense here. We're using past participle verb here. Okay? Okay. All right. I'm looking for your stuff. All right. Okay. I'm looking for your questions. I'm checking your questions live. Let's go to the examples with already then. So first one. So these are the same examples from part 1. We're just changing the keyword. So I have already eaten lunch. I have already eaten lunch. So again, we have our subject, our auxiliary verb here, have, or our helping verb, I have, and then already in this position, plus our past participle verb right here. I have already eaten lunch. Okay? Another one, he has already finished his homework. He has already finished his homework. And finally, they have already arrived. They have already arrived. So again, we're using the positive form of these has and have words, and already comes before the verb in this pattern. Okay, some examples are coming. Evelyn says, I have already sent you the link. Nice, okay. Nick says, I have already eaten my breakfast, yet I forgot to make coffee. Oh no, coffee is very important. Okay. Other examples, he has already eaten all his food. Excellent, Eric CB. All right, cool. That looks good. So already looks pretty clear. Nice, everybody. Alicia, can I use yet before the past participle verb as a question more formal? Can you give me an example before the verb as a question? I'm not sure what you mean. Okay, let's go to the next couple points here. We use already sometimes as a response in a conversation. So we use it as a one-word response to show surprise or to show shock. I have that here. Can use as a response to show surprise, okay? For example, in a conversation between Mr. A and Mr. B. So, first person says, I've finished my holiday shopping. I've finished my holiday shopping. Second person says, already? It's November. Already? It's November. So this already shows that we're surprised or shocked. This person finished holiday shopping sooner than expected. Like it seems very, very fast. This person says, it's November. You finished already? So there was some expectation of holiday shopping, but if it happens very quickly, you can use already to do that. Another example might be someone in your office or your school says, hey, I already, or maybe like, I went for lunch with my friends an hour ago. You might say, already? It's only 10. So when something happens earlier than expected, you can use already to show your surprise. Okie dokie. Good examples of already are coming in. I have already seen that. Riddy says, I'm already told him about, not I am. I have already told him. I have already told him. So make sure if you are making these sentences for the first time, follow this pattern, yeah? This should be I, we, you, they, have, has, already, and verb, yeah? So just follow the pattern. What's your YouTube channel, says Fredley, English Class 101. Look it up. Same as the Facebook page, okay? All right, let's go to the last point here. The last point. Already may be used at the end of a sentence. You may hear some people use it in this position. For example, I have eaten lunch already. You may hear this as well. We tend to use it in this one. I have already eaten lunch. He's already finished his homework. And as I just did, native speed tends to kind of smush those letters together. So not already, but I've already eaten lunch. This sentence becomes I've already eaten lunch. Already. I have already eaten lunch. So the pronunciation becomes a lot shorter. I've already eaten lunch. That's how we would say it. Okay, cool. Some more examples are coming in. I have already signed a contract, says Test King. Okay, Tarek says, I have already seen this movie. Good. Hugo says, I have already finished my workout. Good. I already had dinner. Okay, that works for me, Karina. Nice. Okay. I have already eaten breakfast today. Good. Okay, lots of people are talking about food. Perfect examples. Good job, everybody. Okay, let's go to the last part. Facebook, I'm looking for you. Some of you are writing some unrelated comments. I have already eaten lunch. Eliza, I have already eaten lunch. Many people, I think, are missing this part. I've seen this error a few times. So not I am, but I have. I have already. Okay? All right. Phew. Let's take one more quick break, and then we'll go to still, our last point for today's lesson. If you are just joining live, today's lesson is about how to use yet, already, and still. We are focusing on using perfect tense grammar structures in this lesson, but we are talking about a couple other points here and there too. Okay? Let's go to our super quick break, and then we'll go to the last part. So if you missed it earlier, the team put together a level check test that you can find from the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. So click that link, and you will go to EnglishClass101.com, and you will find the level check page. You need your name and an email address to take the test. It's free. And then you can find the recommended courses, the English courses, from our lesson library. So check that out if you want to check your level. Okay, cool. Let's go to the final topic for today. The final topic. All right. Please don't spam the Facebook chat, Fredly. I told you the YouTube channel. It's the same as the Facebook page. All right. Let's go to the last part. Still. So let's talk about still. Still expresses a continuing action or state. A continuing action or state. And it's unexpected. So it's like a surprise or something that's shocking, or we're kind of like, what? Confused maybe too. Okay? So we can use still with many grammar patterns. There are lots of different grammar patterns we use still with. Today, we're going to practice this perfect tense pattern, and then we'll look at a few other grammar patterns too. Okay? So let's look at this one first, and then we'll continue on. So to make a perfect tense, sentence with this, we use subject plus still plus negative here, hasn't or haven't, plus our past participle verb, okay? So again, just like with yet at the beginning of the lesson, we need to use the negative form here. Notice too, this part, still comes before these have and hasn't, haven't, hasn't sections, right? So this position is different, right? Let's take a look at some examples and see how we do this, all right? So, I still haven't eaten lunch. I still haven't eaten lunch. So here's my subject right here. Still in this position after the subject. Haven't follows and eaten lunch, the past participle verb form. All right? I still haven't eaten lunch. So what does this communicate? This communicates we have some expectation. Well, rather there's an expectation we're going to eat lunch, but it hasn't happened yet and we are surprised. So for example, maybe I say this at like 3 p.m., 3 in the afternoon. I still haven't eaten lunch. That expresses the action hasn't continued, or my state of not eating lunch is continuing. Like, oh no. So we expect this action should happen, but it's been too long. That's the feeling. So me not eating lunch has continued, and I'm surprised. I still haven't eaten lunch. Okay, let's look at another one. So he still hasn't finished his homework. He still hasn't finished his homework. So here's my subject, he, plus still in the next position, negative, hasn't. He still hasn't finished, past participle verb, his homework. He still hasn't finished his homework. So we expect by now his homework should be done, but it's not. So we're expressing like the continuing state of not being finished. That might be kind of an odd way to think of it. Or we could just imagine it as like, we expect this thing should be done by now, but it is not. He still hasn't finished his homework. Okay, some examples are coming in. Marine Life says, I still haven't eaten breakfast. Oh no. Okay. Olivia says, she still hasn't told me her secret. Ooh, that's a good example sentence. Okay. Yamin says, we still haven't identified the thief. Nice ones, everybody. Okay. Al Tariq says, I still have not had a break. Good. Other examples, I still haven't finished my work. Okay, good. Good. Everybody's examples are super. Okay. Oh, one more. So they still haven't arrived. They still haven't arrived. One more example. So these are examples that use these perfect tense patterns, yeah? Let's finish today's lesson. Let's look at some other grammar patterns we use still with. So the first one, you're still working? It's 9 p.m. You're still working? It's 9 p.m. So here we have still directly before this verb, yeah? So you are is what this means. You are still working? Question mark, exclamation point. So we're expressing surprise. It's 9 p.m. It's 9 o'clock at night. So this expresses surprise or shock. You're not finished yet? That's how we use still in a sentence like this. Let's look at another example. He didn't study for the test, but he still passed. He didn't study for the test, but he still passed. So this expresses our surprise, yeah? He didn't study for the test, right? He didn't study for the test, but even though that's true, he passed. So this is another kind of grammar pattern, another use of still. All right? And one more. We knew the dessert wasn't healthy, but we still ate it. We knew the dessert wasn't healthy, but we still ate it. So again, this still before the verb expresses that even though feeling, right? So these are some other uses of still. And you'll notice these come before the verb in simple past tense. We still ate it. It's like saying, even though we knew this, we ate it, right? It's the even though feeling, okay? So again, we can use still with other grammar patterns, but I wanted to practice it with the perfect tense structures for today's lesson to compare with yet and already. Okay. Some other examples are coming in. Andre says, I'm still working at this time. Okay. Alaratam says, I still feel unhealthy. Okay. Aun Hua Lim says, can we place still at the end of the sentence? As in, like here, like they haven't arrived still? We wouldn't put that in in writing. For example, if I were writing a text message to someone, I wouldn't put it at the end here. But in speech, you might hear someone add still after they say something, like because they want to express that surprise or that unexpected thing. For example, in this case, like you're waiting at the airport maybe, you might think, they haven't arrived. Still. So you might hear it like that in speech, like after the sentence, the speaker wants to add that feeling of shock. So you might hear it in that way, but if you're writing something, we wouldn't use it in that way. So I hope that helps you. Interesting question. Okay, phew, that's it. So we have talked about yet, already, and still today. That was super, super fun. So I'll finish up for today's lesson. Oh my gosh, time has run out very quickly. If you want to take a picture of today's lesson boards, get ready. Here you go. Okay, so today we talked about using yet and already and still. So the focus grammar for today was, again, present perfect tense, but we can use these words in other grammar patterns as well. Okay, cool. So I'll finish up for today's lesson there. Next week's lesson information, let's take a look. Next week, I'll be back as always. Next week, come on, next week. Okay, next week, next week's lesson will be November 10th, Wednesday, November 10th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is New York City time. If you don't know your local time, please Google it or set a notification on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page. Or if you follow me on Instagram, I always post a link and a topic reminder in my stories, so you can check that out too. Next week, I'm going to focus on some prepositions. Yay! Next week, I'm going to talk about how to use by, to, and for. Great, right? Don't we love preposition practice? So join me next week to focus on these 3 prepositions. All right, cool. So that is it for this week. Thanks so much for joining me. Thank you for sharing your awesome example sentences and your great questions, as always. I appreciate that. And thanks so much for liking and sharing the video, too. That's super cool. If you want to check your level, make sure to check the link below the video or above the video on Facebook. And if you want to send me your questions, send them to me at englishclass101.com/ask-Alicia. You can also find my social media links from the YouTube description too. All right, cool. So I will say goodbye for this week. So have a great day, have a great night, have a great weekend, and I will see you again